subconscious, our mental thought processes are clear, and we're looking at it from a healthy standpoint. We're simply a vibrational match to it happening again. So it is also, from another perspective, the universe kind of, bringing us back, kind of the things that we've been focusing on, and that's our way of evolution.
It's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I would
so
say,
look at it from that perspective.
I would say it's an opportunity to assert your mastery.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Angel, something I've always wondered about, some places are just inherently evil, and they remain this way generation, each time frame. And I wondered, is that something anchored from another dimension that has come, and what can people do about that? Because there's just some places that you just step into them and right away you know, and yet other people can sense it, and it's remained that way throughout a lot of our history, and that's something I've always wondered about.
And certain places can have portals for entities to come through, portals to other dimensions, void space, things that are kind of trying to come into this reality and leech off of humanity. So that's definitely a possibility. So we can always be scanning for portals, closing them, and
Would that take mass consciousness or something for somebody, because they've been around for a long,
Mhm.
long time?
It
I'm just wondering if they like made their own grid in there or
Yeah,
something. It
yeah.
seems like because they go on and on and on.
it really
Certain
depends
places
on
throughout the
how
world.
big it is and what dimensions it is. For something like, say, in your house, like you can easily
this
close
is-
that yourself. But if it's like if it's like
just remaining. This place.
like if it's like in say like a Holocaust burial ground, for example, that is something that a lot more people would have to, and it's not just like one person doing it. It's not how many people were doing it. It's how cleansed they are and how clean they are themselves. Because a lot of these mass meditations can end up in if one person has like an entity attachment or more negative energy, it can bring down a lot of the effect. But when a lot of adepts, when a lot of masters go into that kind of space, they can definitely completely cleanse the whole place. Like in Lemurian times, like we were able to go, completely project, cleanse entire planets, or, when the mass incarnations were going on, we were able to kind of offset that by a lot of adepts, hundreds of thousands of masterful souls putting that intention. But other things where other things that can create that sort of feeling in a place, obviously spirits, entities, portals, an object anchoring it in. There's lots I've seen. There's portals to like a hellish realm. Like I've seen. Yeah, I've seen even under people. Like sometimes I've seen just like these hands like screaming and clawing up like through this door.
Let's turn this to a positive note. Let's
Talk about heaven on earth here.
This portal with them, and then along with it comes all these other things.
What is the bottom line here? We heard what you have to say. Where is the positive ending of this? We're all going to ascend into the light.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And we'll be pure. Now what happens to all those other poor energies and the energies, the bad energies? They're just gonna dissipate.
So they'll go on their own path of evolution. Something that's a little bit newer to this universe is self-service ascension. So a lot of, you can ascend by being just of service to self. You know, you don't necessarily have to be on a service to others path, but as a collective, for us to ascend, we have to be on that unity consciousness, and that's part of being on the graduation timeline, is, you know, for all of us to evolve into the next phase of existence. Although ascension is, to a big extent, individual process as well. So the positive aspect of all of this is that despite, you know, things that, you know, ankle biters here and there, demons, you know, little things that kind of try to ruin our day, you know, we get to experience reality in such an incredible way, and with a perception that isn't available to so many other species out there, and we get to co-create, and
That's a real good thing.
yeah, we get to you know, we get to create alongside the Creator in love, and that's, you know, that's the biggest blessing we can have. We get, you know, we get to be God basically, but in unity, not in disunity where we're just trying to mess things up.
What about the new earth? Because there's some, you know, as we shift our own perception, we shift to a parallel earth that is matching our state of being. And so by you shifting, you know, or actually we shift to an earth that matches us. And therefore that earth
And the
would
other
be
ents are
on the other
Yeah,
earth.
on the other
on
earth.
in your reality.
Yeah. So that's why some people are more magnets to these kind of problems, and some are not. They can go into a place and with all this and you know, and because they're unaffected, and it happens a lot too.
Yeah, it's kind of like the split between realities. You know, some people are still kind of living in 3D, and they're all seeing, you know, they're only seeing just that, none of the higher
It's because they don't
aspects.
know that they have the power,
They're only seeing the
They don't know
negativity.
they
And
have the
that's
power.
the system that's
Yeah.
basically
that you're powerless, it's
the
hopelessness, and all
matrix.
these, oh my God, you know, and then
But
so
if they would
therefore you will
actually
experience that you're the vibration of. So if your
I
vibration
have a
is low-
story. I'm from Italy, and I don't know if you guys know this, but they still do exorcism.
Sure.
Exorcism. I cannot say it.
Exorcisms.
Exorcism. Okay.
Exorcism.
That word.
Yeah, that one. In Italy.
Exorcismo.
And I was back home 22 years ago, and I found myself in a part of town that I've not been before. And I found this little church that was surrounded by a little house. And I look at this little church, and I had this terrible feeling. It was empty, and it was dark, and I had this feeling like there was something not good coming out of there. So I went back home, and I asked around, and I told, you know, I said, there is such and such a church in such and such a street, and I said, what's going on with that church? It was empty, there was no priest in there, nobody, and he said, oh, they do exorcism over there.
You didn't go in,